Next on Worcester News tonight, making sure students get to class. The Worcester Public Schools are working to combat a rising number of absences. Plus, a new Massachusetts payroll tax program goes into effect today. What you and your employer should know about it. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. A cloudy first day of October and it looks like there could be some rain and thunderstorms Wednesday. Let's get a first look at our local forecast for more.
I'm meteorologist Chris Gloninger. Overnight temperatures staying pretty mild, about 69 degrees for a low. There could be a rumble of thunder, decent chance for showers tomorrow. All in all, it will be a warmer day, not necessarily a whole lot brighter. I think if you're south of the Mass Pike, better chance of seeing some sunshine. If you're north of the Pike, better chance of seeing those clouds. Now again, with EEE and those concerns, we're talking about the average date of the first frost. And if you look up towards northern New England, we're already past that point. In fact, it did really match the graphic with a pre-September 20th frost in some cases from the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont through the Crown of Maine. This darker shade of blue, September 30th, so that has come and gone now that we're October 1st. And then down towards Worcester, we'll take you in a little bit tighter. You can see the western part of the Worcester Hills will usually see the first frost by October 10th. And then south and east, closer to October 20th. So for the city of Worcester itself, you're probably closer to that October 15th date since you're right on the line. And again, coming up in your 10-day forecast, we'll show you any potential to seeing a frost or a freeze across the area and how long our next cool snap will last. All of those details coming up in your 10-day forecast.
Worcester Public School administrators are working to keep kids in class while addressing the rate of absenteeism. The district reported an increase in the 2018-2019 school year. Our Chandler Walsh joins us in Worcester now to explain. Chandler.
OLIVIA Superintendent Maureen Benenda says the district's chronic absenteeism rate is much lower than comparable urban districts, but she still isn't satisfied and wants to get the rate as low as possible. Meanwhile, another nearby district is happy with their results. This Patriots-themed bulletin encourages Rice Square Elementary students to come to school. Homerooms are placed on yard lines, and the ones with the best attendance are rewarded. It's helped the school's chronic absenteeism rate drop from more than 12% to less than 9%.
Children want to stay home. They want to play games. They want to have we want to make it so that they want to be in school.
Chronic absenteeism is when a student misses at least 10% of the school year. Overall, the district's rate is 15.3%, an increase from the year before.
Really looking at our data and trying to figure out, what subgroups is it, what schools is it?
Superintendent Maureen Benenda isn't happy with this number. She says factors like family and living situations and transportation play a role, and the high schools are the biggest challenge.
Started an initiative for welcoming schools, so there'll be a committee in every high school that includes students, parents, community members, staff. And how do we make schools feel welcoming so kids want to come?
Abby Kelly Foster Charter Public Schools reports a much lower chronic absentee rate of 2.2.
There's nothing that says, hey, you're going to be more successful than coming to school, learning the material, engaging, being part of that process.
Executive Director Brian Haas says parent involvement and school culture are big reasons.
They've signed up, they know there's a waiting list, they want to be here.
Back at Rice Square, making sure students are in class is a priority. And like they did, the entire school district is looking to make improvements this year.
It's difficult to, the next day come in and the rest of your class has moved on to a new topic and you've missed it. And if you have enough of those holes, that's going to have an impact on your success.
The chronic absenteeism rate includes both unexcused and excused absences. Benenda says tardiness and early dismissals are also factors. In Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
A close call for an Auburn high school student. The town's police chief sharing this video of a student running in between school buses today as classes were dismissed. The student did make contact with a moving bus. He suffered minor injuries, but he was apparently okay and was not transported to the hospital. Worcester police identify the man killed in a pedestrian accident on Salisbury Street Friday. Police say 68-year-old Bastri Bagaj was hit by a car while attempting to cross the street. No charges have been filed against the driver at this time. You may notice a change on your next pay stub. The state is deducting money to help fund its paid family and medical leave law, but there's some concern not enough notice was given to businesses and their employees about the changes. Our ERIN Keating joins us now to explain. ERIN.
Olivia, starting today, workers in Massachusetts will begin to notice a difference in their paychecks. For every $100 made, up to 38 cents will be taken out to fund the new program. Businesses say the issue wasn't the amount of money taken out. There was limited communication from the state.
So she went around and gave a notice to the employees and explained what was happening so that they weren't shocked when they got their paychecks.
After hearing the news about a new payroll tax, Ken Carson asked his assistant to do some research. She was able to figure out what steps his employees at That's Entertainment had to take. The comic book store manager says running a small business makes it difficult to keep an eye out for changes like this.
It is tough for a business like us that doesn't have a dedicated person to sit at their desk and really research all these new programs as they come up.
Starting Tuesday, the state will take up to 38 cents for every $100 in workers' checks to help fund the state's paid family and medical leave law. The program was set up to make sure workers had enough time to take maternity leave and to take care of a sick family member. Employers have the option to pay for the tax themselves or to pass it off to their employees. Financial planner Richard Carr says business owners are in a tight spot because the demand for labor is higher than it's ever been.
So employers were really put in a tough circumstance. Employers arbitrarily deciding, should my employees pay this because I didn't impose it, or should I pay this because I don't know if I'll be able to fill their chair if they leave.
Both Carr and Carson admit the state's intentions are good, but hope no one abuses the system.
I really worry that because there wasn't enough thought going into it, there are going to immediately be people who exploit the system. And I wouldn't be surprised now that it's imposed. It's easier for a politician to come back and say, we guessed wrong, we underfunded the program, we're going to need to increase it.
But I hope that statewide they're pretty cautious about giving these benefits out because we're all paying for them.
Benefits for the care of a new child or a personal health issue begin in January of 2021, while the care of a family member begins in July of 2021. In studio, ERIN Keating, Worcester News Tonight.
Police force a man to clean up furniture and other household items he left in a Spencer neighborhood. Authorities tracked him down after finding a concert ticket in a discarded couch. ALYSHA Palumbo has the details.
You got to be freaking kidding me.
These pictures of a couch and mattress dumped off the side of the road in Howe State Park in Spencer angered and upset residents so much, one of them decided to do something about it.
I come down here all the time. It's beautiful down here. And
That man doesn't want to be identified for fear of retaliation, but he says he actually went digging through the couch cushions Monday morning to try to find something that might identify the person who dumped it here. Amongst remote controls and pocket change, he found this crumpled up concert ticket with the suspect's name on it.
I started laughing actually and said, he's going to come back and get this.
He turned the ticket into Spencer police, who were able to track the suspect down.
He admitted that it was his property. There was a question of whether he himself or a friend of his dropped it off. But in the end, he went down, cleaned up his property. It was removed from Howe State Park.
That 23-year-old Spencer man hasn't been charged yet, so we're not identifying him, but police say he will be summoned to court.
Maybe when he pays his fine, he won't do it again, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure the fine's going to be more than what it is if he just would have went to the dump and got rid of it in the first place.
It's a small victory for police and the parks that has been met with praise and pride throughout town.
You can't get away with that. It's just not right.
I think that's amazing. You never know what's in your couch. So don't dump your couch on the side of the road because you're going to get caught.
Police say that suspect will be charged with littering, but beyond that, they hope it discourages anyone else from dumping trash or furniture inside this state park. In Spencer, ALYSHA, PALUMBO, Worcester News Tonight.
A former West Boylston high school student is held without bail at his dangerousness hearing this week. The teen is charged with making threats against the middle high school last week. West Boylston police say he posted them on social media. Police say he was arrested before for threatening to kill another student at the school. He's due back in court later this month. The city announces it's bringing back a program to enhance the appreciation and presence of poetry. Worcester is reviving the Poet Laureate program and creating a Youth Poet Laureate position. Both will serve as official ambassadors for what the city calls its historic, vibrant, poetic, and literary culture. In the new positions, they will promote the city's writers. The Poet Laureate will serve a 3-year position, while the Youth Poet, aged 12 to 19, will serve 2 years.
It only made sense to have a Poet Laureate who could serve during auspicious occasions, glorify Worcester as a city, engage with our young people to teach them about the nature of language and poetry and the poetry that's within all of us.
All nominations and applications must be received by the city at 10 a.m. on November 13th.